Greetings, fellow humans. You know me as Iceman Caesar, and this is what's up in the world today. Heading into one of my favorite times of the year, summer movie season, home of the blockbusters. And as a big movie fan, it's just ever since I got old enough to start getting interested in movies, summer movie season has been always just one of my favorite times of the year because there's just so much excitement and just so much just so much positive energy coming with all these great movies that usually get run out. And for me, I guess it kind of started with 1996 with Independence Day, and it's just for me, Will Smith has been like the summer movie box office king. Usually, I just kind of got used to him kicking things off Memorial Day weekend, and it's just tons of great memories from the summers. Kind of surrounding heading out to the movie theater to see just all the blockbusters that come our way during the summer season. So wanted to do a preview for this year. It looks like we got a pretty awesome slate of movies coming our way. Already got the season kicked off with a few that I've already seen. I'm going to talk about them. So I just want to say that there's going to be some spoilers for some of the movies that I've already seen. If you haven't seen it, definitely don't watch until you've seen, or just skip forward ahead a little bit. But I'm not going to be worried about spoilers when I'm talking about the movies that I've already seen that have kicked off the summer. So, but I don't no spoilers for any of the upcoming movies. I don't have any inside knowledge, or haven't done too much research. Just kind of watched trailers and got just kind of news articles and things like that for information. So there shouldn't be too many spoilers about upcoming movies. Just kind of I'm gonna throw out my thoughts and predictions for some of them, but I have no clue what's coming. So just the only real spoilers are going to be about the movies I've already seen. So I'm sure most people have seen them, but if you haven't at this point, there will be spoilers. So either don't watch until you've seen them, or just skip ahead until the conversation is done. So to start things off, I'm going to talk about 3 movies that I've already seen so far this summer that for me kicked off the season and have just got me pretty excited about everything else to come. The first one, we might as well talk about the big one, the one that has kind of had the most attention. Everyone's talking about Super Troopers 2, baby. May not have been the exact movie you thought I was talking about, but for me and a lot of people I know, this was the number one. This was the big one. We were waiting for this one and kick things off on 420, and I can't say enough good things about this movie, and I just have so much appreciation for the Broken Lizard crew, because they really stepped up to the plate and delivered a movie that's in the same conversation with the first one. I mean, Super Troopers is a legendary movie. It's in the conversation with things like Anchorman, Animal House. It's the greatest comedies in the history of the world. The first one is in that conversation. So it's kind of hard to say. It's hard for any movie, let alone a sequel, to get itself in the conversation. But this movie, it did such a great job of standing on its own, and it was a great lesson in not trying to rely on the jokes you did in the first movie and just rehashing everything. There was a little bit that they did in the first movie and in the second one, but really only about 3 or 4 things. There were the joke. With sequels, you really see them try and do some of the things that worked in the first one, bring it into the second one and do it again. But they really kept that stuff to a minimum, and that allowed the new stuff to really shine on its own. There was so many great scenes. I was seriously good and baked for this one. I was in a great mood, and it made for a great experience, but didn't really retain too much coming out of it. However, the 2 scenes that I do remember, I don't want to talk too much, because you got to experience it for yourself. They're so great. But the key to a happy life, happiness in the household. Oh man, that was absolutely a hilarious scene. It should go down as a classic. And then one of the things that made me laugh the hardest was Rabbit's reaction to the pill that he took. They all find these pills, they all take a different one, of Rabbit's, I guess, was steroid pills, and his reaction, oh man, I laughed so hard. The beginning of the scene, he's just firing push-ups, and then the scene cuts away, and it comes back, and he has not broken stride at all. Literally, he's not even going faster, just hammering push-ups. And then the scene moves on a little bit, and they're kind of trying to figure out who trashed the place, and Rabbit is just all jacked up, and he's just We're gonna find out who did this. We're gonna stomp their fucking faces in. Holy shit! I laughed so hard at that scene, but like, there was so much in the movie that was funny. But those two scenes were the ones that stuck with me when I left the movie. So but there was just a lot of like big belly laughs. Pretty much everything was worth a chuckle, and it was just an awesome. It was an awesome movie. It was a great sequel, for a legendary movie like Super Troopers. You definitely want the sequel to do it justice and not kind of ruin it anyway. And this definitely accomplishes that for sure. It was a great sequel, and with how well it did at the box office, they should be almost 15 million above profit. So that should guarantee us more movies. I saw them tweet that if this one does well, we should get Potfest and Super Troopers 3, and I'm holding them to that. I hope everyone does, because these guys they're one of the best comedy groups of all time, and it's just and they're still able to put out some of their best stuff right now. So while they are, I think you just got to capitalize on it and put out as much material as possible. Now, hopefully, with movie studios see that there's actually some popularity to these things. Like, they can make some money as long as you stretch the budget as far as possible. Don't just throw money at the project. Really try and just stretch every dollar you use to make it as good as possible. And again, I definitely think they should open it up to crowdfunding again, because that just makes people part of the movie. You're a part of something that you actually believe in and are connected. Like that had a positive impact on your life. So it's I think I see nothing but positive things on the horizon for the Broken Lizard crew and just all these movies coming forward. And hopefully the studios recognize that if these movies are done right and you give these guys the freedom to do it right, they can be a success and make money for everybody involved. So really hope that this all the positivity with this second movie is just opens up a whole new world of possibilities for the Broken Lizard crew and just all the movies that they can bring us. But definitely, I highly recommend Super Troopers 2. It's still in theaters. You might have to go on an adventure, but it's worth it. Track it down, and when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray and digital and everything, absolutely get yourself a copy, because it's worth it. You're gonna watch this movie over and over again. So highly recommend Super Troopers 2, and I feel like that movie got us kicked off. But I'm talking about the actual big movie that I'm sure everyone thought I was talking about at first, the Avengers: Infinity War. It is just smashing records all across the board, and for me, like, I really got to give props and say thank you to all the Marvel fans and everybody that saw this movie, because it would have been so easy to throw spoilers out there, but I honestly held on to my spoiler-free state right up until I saw the movie, and I didn't get to see it until Tuesday. The Tuesday after it came out. So one of the first movies I've ever seen by myself, but I had no choice, because my movie crew we couldn't make it happen to see it. Most of the shows were sold out, all the good seats, and I was I've in the days since the release, I felt that I had come pretty close to being spoiled, so I just didn't want to leave it any more than I already did, and so I just bit the bullet and went to see it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't as bad as experience. I mean, once the movie's going, you really don't notice anything, and then it's just when it's done, you leave, and like, I like the fact that you can get the assigned seating, so you can just show up right before, and no one's really the wiser, so it's it works out, but. It's obviously movie experience are better when you're going with people, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And to see this movie spoiler free, I had to bite the bullet and go see it myself. But it's totally worth it. Awesome movie, and it's it's definitely you definitely don't want to be spoiled going into it, because they really did a great job. I will admit I'm experiencing a little bit of superhero fatigue. You can only get so much crash boom bang with the superhero movies before you start to be like, okay, I need a little bit more substance. I need more story. I need to see characters in peril and think that they could actually perish. I need to see some bad villains that I want to root against, and so you just a little bit of fatigue from all these movies. Just because superhero movies have a similar structure and a similar kind of tone and action to them. So that definitely starts to wear on things. They do a great job with trying to make everyone different, and to create a great story. I mean, basically the Infinity War with the Infinity Stones has been one big story that kind of goes through all the different movies, which is so cool. I mean, now you can go back and watch them and see how the movies, just see how they crisscross and how the story intersects with each other. Like, that's one of the things I still need to see, is what I need a definitive guide to how to watch the movies. Like, Iron Man 1, then Thor, and then Captain America, and then whatever. Like, I need this. I want to know how, where. There needs to be a definitive list of this is how you follow the story to, through all the Marvel movies to Infinity Wars. So I really, they did cool things like that, but it's just a little bit of superhero fatigue. But all of that went away from when I started watching this movie, because I mean, such a cool concept to have all the heroes together battling one big badass villain that's dominant enough where you think that these guys actually do need to team up together. And it was so it was a great concept coming in, and I thought they did a great job at presenting everything, kind of keeping things serious, but throwing jokes in there as well. Man, there was some hilarious content in here. Like Drax, Dave Bautista is Drax. Like, he was born to play this role, crushes every single performance he does as Drax, and I mean, almost pretty much stole. It's kind of hard to say anybody stole the show in this movie, but him when he. Today, like the whole bit where you can't see him, that was just absolutely hysterical. And then keeping with the Guardians are really dominating the humor. Star-Lord trying to act like Thor, holy shit, that was one of the funniest things I've seen in Marvel movies. Like, that was what a great joke, and kudos to the writer that came up with that. That was just it was a perfect joke to throw in there to keep things light, but keep the serious tone in there at the same time. I thought they did a great job with the humor and the seriousness. And as if you watch the movie, definitely got serious at the end when looks like almost half of the superheroes we know that's it. They're gone. They're done. And when you know what you know about the business of Hollywood and movies and stuff, obviously they're not these. See big characters like a lot of the Guardians and Black Panther and Spider-Man. I mean, great job by his performance. I heard that was ad-libbed. That was just him on the fly doing that. Like, wow. I hope they give him a little extra bonus in his paycheck, because that really kind of helped turn that moment into they're superheroes. They'll be back to holy crap. Like, there is something to this, and I thought that was a great job. But obviously Spider-Man is not gone, or Black Panther's not gone. So I mean, I guess it in the moment, but at the same time, it's like conceivably they could, go that direction. And Thanos, they built it up and did it to where when he clenches his fist, he should have went for the head. Awesome moment, awesome build up, and it's just, if that's how people are gonna go out, can't really write a better moment than that. But it was. Thought everything was just built up, done. One of the best things about that, and it's just, I think, was so cool, was kind of how they had Doctor Strange go forward and go into time and see all the possible outcomes from fighting Thanos. And how many did we win? One. And and then when it gets towards the end, and he actually gives the Infinity Stone to Thanos to complete the gauntlet, and give him the ultimate power, and everybody's telling him not to. So it's but in that moment, like, Doctor Strange is the only one that has seen the one outcome where they win. So he must know that this has to be done to get to the moment where they win. So it's like, I think that is amazing storytelling, and there's so much depth to that, because it's like, is Doctor Strange following the one path that got them to win, or did he panic and want to save his friend and do the? It's up in the air. So I thought that was a great layer to add to the story, and that's one of the things I've been thinking about the most. Is like, it's how many did we win? How many did you see? 140 million, whatever, and how many do we win? Like, one. That's just, and applying that to life and to the spiritual battle we're in, and it kind of is making things make sense. But I just thought that was a great layer to add to the story, and it's just that the movie is built up really well to the point to the end where you've bought into this story, and when Thanos closes his fist, you feel like that. Oh man, like it's they did a really great job with building this up, creating some peril for the characters and creating some doubt heading into this next movie, the sequel. So it was I just thought they did a really great job with that. The death that hit me the most was Gamora, because that to me was the most serious, because I thought that when he did that, I'm like, it was done in a way where I didn't just think like, oh she'll come back. I was like, is Gamora really gone? Like I was set me back in my seat. I was surprised. I couldn't believe that. And but I mean, with the way that Gamora's the younger self was with Thanos on that plane that he was in, maybe there's a chance that when the rest of the Avengers, that they're able to defeat Thanos and kind of put everything back as close to normal as possible. Maybe she will be coming back. That's kind of where I think this story is going. When they break the Infinity Gauntlet or something like that, they will, everybody will kind of be able to come back to life. And it's there's it may not be as cut and dry as that. Just defeating Thanos. It may require a sacrifice, a life to be able to do it. And it's kind of building up for me to where Tony Stark, Iron Man, might be one of the most selfish superheroes ever. A guy that's really cares a lot about himself, to do the ultimate selfless act and sacrifice himself to save his friends and humanity and just all the good in the universe. It's like that would be a pretty amazing story and a pretty amazing pretty amazing turn for the character to be the one that has to sacrifice himself for his friends. And at the same time, Iron Man's kind of a character that could go on without Tony Stark, because it's somebody in a suit. So if you do it the right way, Iron Man can continue without Tony Stark in it. And then they kind of set that up with right at the beginning of the movie, talking about Tony wanting to have a child. And it's like, if he could easily learn about, they could easily set that up to where he's making the sacrifice, and right before he learns about the child, and he just realizes that for that child to have a life, he has to defeat evil, and to defeat evil, unfortunately, it's going to cost his life. So I mean, I think we're building up to a very extremely emotional moment in the climax of this next movie. And I think for me, I think it's going to be Iron Man, but there's it could be Captain America, it could be others. I think that's I don't think everybody is gone, but I do think that some people will not survive this Infinity War, unfortunately. And for me, I'm looking at Tony Stark. But just because, I mean, even if that's the route they go, I mean, some people think, it's predictable. It's not. I mean, it's not. It's just because you can. I don't know. It's the right thing to do, even if it's predictable or not. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing for the story, and it's I mean, for me, I'm always kind of saying, I want a superhero. Superheroes need to die in the war. A superhero. I mean, but I was thinking about that a lot, and it's kind of like, superheroes exist so they don't die. They exist so that they're always going to be there. So I mean, I started to understand that, and I guess that's why the movies are the way they are. But at the same time, a great movie needs some peril. They need you to think that the character might not survive this, or so it's tough to create that when the character pulls it out the last second every time, or that characters of this kind pull it out at the last second every time. So it's like, so bringing a death into it, it helps future stories. It helps that story, but at the same time, it does. If it is Iron Man, there's kids and there's people that love Iron Man, look up to him. He's their number one hero. So, that death would be a very, very strong impact for them. So it's a tough place for me to come. It's like I want it for the story, but at the same time, thinking about it more, I kind of understand why superheroes were created in the first place, and why they exist and why we attach to them so much. So it's I've kind of pumped the brakes a little bit on calling for deaths in superhero movies, and wanting to see them villain get some. So, but I do think it would kind of be the right story for this one, because it would allow the Tony Stark story to end in a way that's really, really, it is a superhero like ending to jump on the grenade to save everybody. That is a cool, and because the story doesn't have to end. It could, if he does produce a child, that child grows up and you have a new Iron Man. So it's for a whole. So I think that. I hope that's the route they go. For looking at it, I think that's the route they may be going, especially with how, with the death scene with Spider-Man and Iron Man, and just how he was, a part of it, and just what a great scene too, where they almost had the gauntlet off him, but Star-Lord just cannot handle the death of Gamora and just loses his mind. And you can feel it from both sides. You feel it for the Avengers, like, just hang on, you idiot, like, let us get the glove off, then beat the hell out of him all you want. But then you feel it from Star-Lord, like, I mean, everything he's dealt with his mother, and then for him to lose Gamora, like, there's no way he'd be holding back. So it was just great. I thought they did a great job with this movie. I mean, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy movies for me are my favorites, but this one is right up there in the conversation. It's certainly one of my favorite Marvel movies, and definitely one of my favorite movies. I could see myself watching this movie a lot. Definitely multiple viewings, because it's just so much. Like I say, that every superhero in there, there's just so much to connect to and draw your attention. And I mean, with every superhero, there's so much charisma on the screen. It's just like it's just fun to watch. So. But I really thought I thought they did a great job with Infinity War. I can't wait to see the second one, to see the conclusion of this story, to see what they do. I can't wait to own it on Blu-ray and Steelbook to experience it again. And I highly recommend it. If hopefully you see it without being spoiled, and if you're still spoiler free and haven't seen it, oh man, go out as soon as possible and check this movie out. It's a really great movie. They did a great job, and even if you have superhero fatigue, I think you'll really enjoy it. And the last movie that I've already seen I wanted to talk about that I think kicked things off was really awesome movie, Rampage, from the starring The Rock. And this was I loved this video game as a kid, but and so I was excited to hear that The Rock was doing it, because The Rock is really Jumanji. What an awesome movie that was. They nailed the humor and the action. I didn't think they were going to do it. I was nervous about it, but they just what an awesome movie. So coming off of that, I was really excited to see Rampage. And Rampage is kind of just has a fun, that's your crash boom bang tone. I mean, all you're doing is destroying cities in the video game. So that, to me, I didn't want it to be too serious. I just want it to be your typical. I just want it to be your summer blockbuster popcorn flick. Watch, shoveling handfuls of popcorn in your mouth, watching big monsters just smash stuff, like smashy. That's what I wanted, and I was a little bit concerned coming in, because I thought the tone was a little bit too serious. I didn't think there was going to be enough of I just didn't think there was going to be enough video gamey type stuff with the monsters smashing. But man, was I wrong. They did such a great job. And the story was a little bit more serious in tone, but that didn't hurt it at all. I thought they did a great job with the story they told. And honestly, the only mistake I thought they made was the trailers. This movie the trailer should have been constructed totally different. I feel this movie should have been built around George and how he's good, then he gets injected, he gets exposed to that stuff, gets sick, and then comes back around. Because it's a spoiler, but you don't need to be unspoiled to enjoy this movie. So if you know that George is the hero we're rooting for to come to be a good again, this movie worked. That is the story, and it's awesome. George eventually comes back to his senses and helps everybody against the other two monsters that are still trying to destroy everything. So to me, that's the story that they needed to build. And I mean, they kind of did it sold it a little bit with how you could see in the trailers they had The Rock, George. So you knew that The Rock had an attachment to him. But for me, I just kind of got the feeling that The Rock. This was like a monkey The Rock had been dealing with, and he was the only one that was remembering the emotion, like the monkey or the monster or whatever it didn't, to me, I just didn't expect that coming from the movie with the way they set it up. But, they just did a great job with the story and the action, but the CGI on the monsters, the big animals, wow, especially the big alligator crocodile. Holy shit. This was amazing, man. This looked real. It was fun to watch. I just couldn't get enough of it. I mean, for me, I really hope there's a Rampage 2 because I thought there was more canisters that went out there. Maybe I counted wrong, but I thought there were a couple canisters out there that they did not see being found on the movie. So I'm hoping that there's something out there where they can, for the second movie, they just go nuts. I mean, like, they just make snakes and elephants and pandas and everything. Like, I mean, I wanted, like, a Rampage 2, like, let's get video gamey. Let's get crazy with this. But I thought they did a great job with Rampage. And to me, like, the release date, I know The Rock has another movie coming out, Skyscraper, in the summer, but with me looking at August has a very weak slate of movies, in my opinion, and Rampage would have been perfect for August. Like, I think this movie would have done double the box office if it was in August, because August, you're kind of, summer movie season is starting to wind down. School and, the autumn and work and stuff is starting to get more of a reality, getting closer. So, August is kind of that trend, that month where, movies can do really great, like Guardians of the Galaxy, or they can go to die. So, August is a weird month. Sometimes, you don't want to put a movie there. Sometimes you do. But I think this movie would have been perfect for audiences still wanting a little bit of that summer blockbuster fever, but at the same time, it's you're getting towards the end, so you don't want as much of that tone as you had at the start. And I feel like this movie would have been perfect for that because it gives you the smashy crash boom bang, but at the same time there's still more of a serious tone. It doesn't get totally video gamey, so it's I kind of thought it would have been perfect for August, especially with the week schedule. Excuse me. But it doesn't. But it looks like it made good money worldwide. Hopefully enough for a sequel, but I'm looking forward to owning. Excuse me. Looking forward to owning this on Blu-ray and Steelbook because it's absolutely a multiple viewing movie. So highly recommend that. I think it's might be still hanging around theaters, but probably not much longer with everything coming out. So if it's still sticking around, definitely go see it and try and track it down on when it comes out on home releases and digital and stuff. So those are the three movies I wanted to talk about. Those are the three that I've seen recently, and those kind of kicked off the summer movie season for me. I'm really excited about everything's to come, and so let's get right into it. Not waste any more time. I forgot to write down the exact dates when these are coming out, but all these movies are in like chronological order. They're all coming out one after the other. Just maybe not. I just forgot to write down the dates. But so the first movie that we got coming up next, this weekend coming up, Deadpool 2. I am pumped for this one. I am just blown away by the Titanic style song Ashes that they got Celine Dion to do. It is a great song. Like I was listening to it, I was like, this. I kind of thought it was gonna be just a kind of a parody song, but it's actually a really great song, and I think it's weird, sometimes a really epic song can go a long way and helping a movie have a good run, and Deadpool 2 is not one you'd think would have a song like this, but I thought the song just blew me away that it even exists, but I think it is a great song. I think it's going to be a great fit for this movie, and everything I've seen from the trailers looks like this movie is going to, elevate itself from the first movie. The first movie was good. I thought it was, Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool. It's, it was Deadpool. I thought first one was everything you want from the character in the movie, but now that they've, had a chance to, deliver the origin story and, they're, now they kind of are, I just think they understand everything a little bit more, and they've already done some things to establish the character that they probably don't need to do in this movie. So I think they can get into a little bit more of the meat and potatoes and have just really having Deadpool put on a performance that everyone wants to see. And it sounds like this movie has everything you'd want from the Deadpool. Plus, actually, they've really tried to kick it up a notch with the story, and they have a great bad guy and Cable, Josh Brolin. I think he's two. I'm pretty like he's Thanos as well. Like, man, Josh Brolin is just crushing it and crushing it not only in the movie roles, and he was amazing as Thanos. I'm sure he's gonna be great as Cable, but. Man, like you talk about crushing the roles, crushing the paychecks. Like that's two big blockbuster movies in the same calendar year. Like, man, I think Josh Brolin's going to be enjoying himself for sure, and he absolutely deserved it. He is a Goonie. We got your back forever. Goonies for life. So it's so I'm really looking forward to seeing this one and seeing the performances from everyone. And it's this one. There could be a red flag, switch in directors, but I don't think there's going to be. The switch has gone from the first one to the director for this one is the John Wick director, and man, John Wick is one of the best action movies of all time. Definitely one of the best action movie to come along recently, and I mean. Sometimes it's a disaster switching directors, going from one because not everyone has the same vision and can tap into the same the same energy that you have. But I think the John Wick style is going to be perfect for this movie, and so I don't think they're gonna. I thought the first director did a great job. Not sure why that they made the change, but I don't think there's going to be much of a step down. If anything, I think it'll be take a step up because the John Wick action is just. Man, that is some seriously great action. You combine that with what they've already been doing in Deadpool, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is going to have a big run, and it should be a great movie. So the next movie following it up, Deadpool 2. Hopefully they make big money on the weekend because they have tough competition coming after that. You got the next movie in the Star Wars universe, Solo, a Star Wars story. And now, despite The Last Jedi being an absolute piece of shit movie, I don't want to sidetrack, but I am so sick and tired of people acting like that movie was anything but a piece of shit. And I'll debate and battle anybody on that, and just the idea people are throwing out there that this is some kind of cinematic masterpiece and that he took chance, like I don't even want, like that movie was absolute garbage, and I can't say enough bad things about it, and I don't want to do too much negative and focus on it, and I just don't even want to think about it. I don't want to watch it again. I don't want to think about it. I want to pretend it never existed. But despite all that, I am still really excited and pumped for this movie, for this Han Solo movie, because I mean, at first when they first announced it, I was not excited. I didn't want. Harrison Ford did such a great job being Han Solo that I just was not interested. I didn't think that you'd be able to get into the character, and I didn't think that another actor would be able to pull off a young Han Solo. But the more, the closer that it got, and the more things I started seeing about it, it's like I just thought, I mean, I could easily, put up a wall and, be bitter about it. And I'm not watching. This guy's not Han Solo. He could never be Han Solo. Like, I'm not watching this crap. I could have easily done that. But, I just decided, you know what? Like, I love Star Wars. And if it's a bad movie, I'll know it's a bad movie when I watch it. But I want to give it a chance. I want to try to see it as a good, just give it a chance, because everybody involved with this movie, they had nothing to do with The Last Jedi. Even if they don't agree with me on my opinion on it, this is their own movie. They put all their time, effort, and energy into it. So it's not fair for me to completely dismiss it based off of what another movie did, or based on my preconceived notions of if I'll like it or not. Like, I don't know. And from the trailers, I think this guy does a pretty good job in kind of getting the Han Solo energy and getting into that character. And it sounds like Harrison Ford gave him a little bit of advice, which is nice to see and nice to hear, because that'll help him with the character. And also it's nice to see Harrison Ford get involved in the universe and actually care about it more than a damn paycheck. Man, I wanted to, like, it's stupid and juvenile, but I wanted to throw down with him. It's like all he was talking about in the press for The Force Awakens is I got paid. Yeah, we get it. You like making money off of these movies, but these movies are so much more if you just let them in. And it's like I'm sure he doesn't do conventions, but like you need to meet some of these people that you've been such a great influence on, it's not going to be a bad thing. It's like, you're something that you did it smashed through the fantasy world of Star Wars on the movie screen, and it made a legitimate impact in the real world. That means something. That is something. That's not something everybody gets to do, and that's not something that everybody gets to do with their characters. That's why it's like, even these TV actors, it's like they shy away from their characters that made people feel something and made people look at them as heroes and stuff. So it's like, it's super frustrating for me to see guys like Harrison Ford not want to be involved at all with the universe or the fans, or to just to experience all the energy and all the things that are out there to the experience. So I'm really glad to see Harrison Ford, embrace not only this movie, but the actor that's playing Han Solo, so that Harrison Ford is Han Solo, so nobody can help him, nobody can give him the kind of advice to nail this character like Harrison Ford can. So I was really, really happy, and it made me even more excited for this movie. And it's just I really hope Harrison Ford stays involved in the Star Wars universe, because, man, even as a director, it doesn't have to be Han Solo. It's like, he's such a you don't crush a role like this if you don't understand the universe and if you don't get it. And he gets it. So, let's see what Harrison Ford could do with some Star Wars characters and a Star Wars story. It's like, I don't know if he has an interest being in the director's chair, but like, just being a producer role or helping craft a story. It's like, I just want to see Harrison Ford involved in the universe more. And I'm just really glad to see that he stepped into this movie and tried to help and make it as good as possible. And I'm really looking at the cast. I'm excited about seeing them perform. Like, it looks like they're all good, ready to go. Woody Harrelson in a Star Wars movie. Hell yeah, Woody Harrelson, one of my favorite actors of all time. I think he's great. He's always pushing a positive message of cannabis, and trying to make people real. Trying to bring people to. Let people know that the world is not exactly as it's been presented by the people that are controlling it. So I love Woody Harrelson. He's been in some of my favorite movies ever. Kingpin, man. A special message to Woody Harrelson. Obviously, I'm sure you won't see this, but if you do, please, man, give us Kingpin 2, because there's so much positive energy around that movie, and I guarantee we need a rematch. I guarantee everyone wants to see Roy Munson versus Big Ern one more time. It seemed like Bill Murray had so much fun playing Big Ern, and I don't think you'd have to twist his arm to get him back in the movie. But I remember hearing that Woody didn't want to do the movie at first, and even when he did it, he was kind of like a little bit wary about it, because he thought it might have been too silly and people wouldn't take him serious as an actor. But Kingpin is such one of the best comedies of all time. It's funny. It's a great story, man. Following that story that's one of the things that makes that movie so great, is like, even if you've seen it a lot and the jokes are not as fresh, it's still fun to watch that story. And nobody can tell a road trip movie like the Farrelly Brothers. So and the characters in Kingpin are iconic. They just did such a great job. I think it would be easy to craft a story that could bring everybody back together and not make it something that sucks. I think it would be hard to make a Kingpin 2 that sucked. I think they would really have to try and phone it in. But Kingpin, it's just, all you got to do is get back into that universe that you created in the first movie. Don't try to make Kingpin in our world. Get back into that universe. Randy Quaid, get him back. Will Ferrell is the next Amish superstar that hates Randy Quaid and wants to bring us all down. Please, we need it. But there's so many great comedic actors that could help in Kingpin 2. But I'm off on a tangent. But I just wanted to, I love Woody Harrelson, one of my favorite actors. Got lots of love for him, and I was really excited to see him in this movie. And I can't wait to watch his character, interact in the Star Wars universe. So I want to say that Emilia Clarke now. The Queen, the Queen Daenerys. Let's see if she's able to make Han Solo bend the knee. It'll be interesting, but I'm excited to see her in a different role. It's as awesome as it is to see her playing Daenerys. It's going to be. She's such an amazing actor that she can obviously can do more than one role. So it's going to be nice to see her play another character, but while you're still used to her as Daenerys, because Game of Thrones is still running. So I'm excited to see her. Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian he looks like he's perfect choice for Lando. I think that I didn't, as low as my expectations were coming in like years ago and or months ago. Really excited from everything I've seen. I think they put a great cast together, and it's and then leaving it to the director. Like there was a change in directors, and like I said before, that could sometimes lead to disaster. But when they're bringing in a guy like Ron Howard, I think you can kind of relax and have faith that this things are going to be okay. It's going to be a good movie. I mean, Ron Howard, always, one of those guys. He's my boy. He's delivered so many things to the world that have given so much positive energy. Like, Happy Days. I mean, Willow. For giving us Willow, he gets a chance till the end of time. I'll give his movies a chance forever. But Apollo 13. This is Ron Howard has delivered so many great movies, so many positive energy. So much positive energy to us, so he'll always get a chance for me. And I was really excited to hear that he was going to step into a Star Wars and bring his kind of tone and his themes to the Star Wars story. So I was really excited to hear that. And then from everything I got from the trailers, I was everything I was hearing from how he was approaching the movie and how he's approaching creating the characters, creating the story, trying to stay true to the things that have been in the universe since the beginning. So he's connected very closely to George Lucas. So if anybody's going to step in and take over and do a great job, it's going to be Ron Howard. And it's just, for me, like I say, he's my boy. So I'm really looking forward to this and seeing what kind of a Star Wars stories he's able to give us. So I mean, it's got, but I mean, the bar is set up. For me, probably impossibly high. Rogue One is my second favorite Star Wars movie behind Return of the Jedi. I think it's absolutely amazing, start to finish. I'm going to do a Rogue One review because I've heard some people say some things about this movie that are insane to me. Like, there's no character development, and the first half is boring. It just blows me away, and I want to kind of at least throw my opinion out there to try and put a stop to some of that, because I thought it was an amazing film, just visually stunning, but the bar is set high. But with the cast and crew and director and just everything they have, I think that they think they're going to give it as good a shot as anyone to hit that bar or even raise it higher. So I'm really looking forward, and plus it's coming on Memorial Day. Like all Star Wars movies before these new ones came out on Memorial Day in May. So I do like the Christmas themes to them. I thought that's brought a new kind of family atmosphere to the Star Wars movies, but at the same time, it's going to be nice to have one back to where they belong or where they started. I guess that's probably more. It's going to be nice to have one back where they started. So, looking forward to this. Can't wait, and hopefully they deliver a great one. Not like that piece of shit, The Last Jedi. Had to throw that in there. Okay, and so next movie coming after that looks like a pretty good comedy. Saw the trailer for it in Super Troopers 2. That trailer being there and being in the awesome state I was in certainly helped probably give me some laughs. But Action Point with Johnny Knoxville, it's not a bigger budget, but I think it's could be one of the sleeper movies. Looks like it could be pretty funny. It's obviously just going to be silly, goofy fun and like pushing the envelope for sure. But that kind of humor is like, as long as that's done right, that kind of humor is great. And it's Johnny Knoxville. I think he's a pretty underrated comedic actor. I mean, I think he goes too far with some of the stunts sometimes. I don't think he has to do that. I think he actually is really good in comedies and stuff. So it's I enjoy watching him on the screen. I'm looking forward to giving this movie a shot. I love comedies and I love to laugh. So hopefully this one delivers lots of them. Next one coming up is Ocean's 8. And I like the concept of this one. I mean, the Ocean's 11, 12, and 13, awesome movies. I think 11 and 13 are definitely better than the top two. I think 12 was good, but I don't think it was as good as the other two. I thought 11 and 13 were just amazing. But I like the concept of how now having an all-female cast put together a heist. And you're just one of those fun heist movies. But I think this movie has a big problem. I don't think the trailer is where it needs to be. Saw the trailer, and I gotta say, I did not think it was. I mean, the movie looked okay. It made the movie look okay, but I don't think it was the home run it needed to be. I mean, Ocean's 11 had an amazing trailer. The trailer was one of the things that really lit the spark and got this got everyone talking about it, and it was made it an event movie. It was just, the trailer was so well done, you had to see this movie. And so that's where I really felt, I feel this movie is just, it's not going to let themselves get out of the gate if another trailer doesn't come out. I don't know which one I saw. I don't know if there's any more that they've released since then. But to me, they need to sit down and craft a really good trailer, you know, kind of in the same vein as Ocean's 11, and just really, really try to put enough in there to get people, to bring people in and realize that this is going to be a really fun movie that you're not going to want to miss in theaters. So it's I think they need to put together a better trailer, and you know, that's it. I'm interested. I'm gonna try and see it, and it's definitely on my radar. But you know, with the trailer kind of coming in, I'm gonna try and see if they've released another one or if they still have yet to. But you know, there's still time. I mean, if you're involved in this movie and you care about it, go back in, try and put out a trailer and put something out there that's gonna let people know about. Just give them a better idea of the tone and the story and everything that they're going to be expecting in this movie. But I like the concept, and I think they put together a great ensemble cast. And it's I just think the trailer that I saw did not hit the way it needs to, and I just think they need to try and put another one in there that showcases the movie a little better. Next movie coming up after that is one for the kind of geared toward the kids, but these movies are definitely can be enjoyed by everyone. The Incredibles 2, you know, pretty decent gap since the first one was released, but the first one is a classic. I remember it was, you know, a huge mainstream movie, you know, really popular with, you know, in the mainstream world. So it's I'm probably looking for the same thing from this one. I mean, it's kind of hard for these movies to take steps back, but you know, there is something to be said. There is chemistry with the you know, they're with the voice cast, and it's not easy to just, you know, go in and talk. Like, you think that it would just be, read my lines and that's good, but there's a different way of voice acting where you actually have to be the character and you have to be into it, and you know, like the energy needs to be there. So it's it's not as easy as you think. So but I think this with how good the first Incredibles was and how popular it was, I don't think they're gonna have much problem delivering a great movie with this one. And it's just I'm glad. I love these animated movies. It gives a chance to, you know, take the kids and, you know, go have a fun afternoon, get some lunch, go to the theater, you know, have some popcorn. And it's just, you know, it's a great way to just surround yourselves with, you know, positive energy and enjoy some adventure and imagination on the movie screen. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, getting the kids together and going to see the Incredibles 2 this summer in the theater. Next one coming up after that is going to be Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. And you know, man, the first one just came out of nowhere not only as a great movie, but as an absolute smash box office hit. I mean, nobody predicted that the first Jurassic World would do anything close to what it did. But that made it really fun. You know, just a movie like that coming out of nowhere and having such a successful run is you know, it was exciting. It was kind of fun to watch. Track its progress to see how high it was going to go. And when you actually see the movie, it's like, it was just a really fun movie. And it kind of like, I mean, Jurassic Park, the first one, that was an event. I mean, everyone had to see that in theaters. Everyone was talking about it. Jurassic Park merchandise and images were everywhere. Like, that was a monumental movie. And so then this one, you know, the Lost World and the third one, you know, they were definitely not in the same league as the first Jurassic Park, but I thought Jurassic World kind of got into that same place that the first Jurassic Park was, because the Jurassic World became an event movie once it became so huge, and the word of mouth about the movie was so great. Like, people just had to go out and see it. Like, had to be a part of this big box office run, and they had to be able to see what the fuss was all about. And so the first Jurassic World was a really great thing, lots of positive energy from it, and so I'm really looking forward to see what they do with this sequel. I'm a big fan of Chris Pratt, you know, so I mean, it's really enjoyable to watch him on screen acting, and you know, he did a great job in the first one, and these are his movies, so I mean, I'm really looking forward to another great performance from him in this one. And I like the story that they've set up. How the fact that they turn the island into a sanctuary for dinosaurs, so that they could live and roam and be free and have some freedom and just be naturally like dinosaurs as they possibly can be. But the island becomes compromised because the volcano starts to blow up, and now all these dinosaurs are going to become extinct again. So it's like I thought that's a great way to bring the extinction story back to the forefront. But at the same time, it's not like a park. It's actually a place on Earth we've tried to create for them. So to me, I'm excited about the story. I mean, that's when I heard they were doing another one. I was like, it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. I mean, it might. I think I thought that they could do a good job. I wasn't really that sold on if they could make something as big as the first one. I mean, probably they may not be able to anyways, but with the story they set up, I think that they have a really good chance of making this one as the same kind of movie as the first one was. And The Lost World took a little bit of a step back from Jurassic Park, but I think that this movie could avoid that as long as the story is as good as I think it is going to be. And like with the story, there's going to be lots of great action and should be lots of I read that they're kind of looking at this as a trilogy story, so we should get some pretty interesting story developments that happen in this to lead us into the third movie. So I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a really fun popcorn movie to watch in the theaters. And and the next movie coming up is going to be another comic book movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I didn't think I was going to enjoy the first Ant-Man, but I actually really liked it. It's I'd say it's one of my favorite near the top of one of my favorite superhero movies. I thought they did a really good job with bringing the character into real life and how they created the action. And so I'll definitely be into this one and looking forward to going to see it. And one thing, Ant-Man and the Wasp were not in Infinity War, and they were not one of the characters that died. So we could see the stuff in this movie leading into the second part of Infinity Wars, and the Avengers need help, so I'm sure they'll be calling on Ant-Man and the Wasp to help. So this with coming off the Avengers, couldn't have a better hype machine to come off of. So I think this one should do good at the box office. I think it should be a really good movie. Like I said, I enjoyed the first one, and so I think that I think I'm definitely gonna enjoy this one. And from the trailers I've saw, everything looks good. So excuse me. Looking forward to see it. Hopefully it does well. I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd and also Evangeline Lilly, Lost, Kate, woo! But I'm a big fan of both of them, so I'm really looking forward to see them kick ass, and hopefully this movie kicks ass not only in quality but at the box office as well. Next movie coming up will be another one that's kind of bring the families together and get everyone into the theater, Hotel Transylvania 3. Now, I've only seen the first two. Grabbed the kids up when it came out in theaters and took them to it, and I really liked it. It was funny. I'm a big fan of Adam Sandler, and this is kind of this is his story and his movie. So it's a very enjoyable movie. It's a good story. I'm glad they're continuing it on, coming with a third one. Don't think it's going to be take a step back. I think it's going to be staying along the lines with. The kids tell me the first one was awesome as well as the second, so I think it'll continue along the lines of these movies. And it's another reason to get the family together during the summer and just have a good day and kind of base the day around going to the theater. Hit the park first, then hit the theater, and then have a nice supper after the movie. But just these animated movies like this just give a chance to families to get out and just have a good day out in the summer. So glad that they're releasing it this summer. Okay, and the next movie we got coming up is going to be another one from The Rock, Skyscraper. And this one is I'm pretty much you can pretty much sign me up for any movie The Rock does, because he's become such a great actor. He's great at doing action movies. He can throw comedy in there. He can throw drama. So The Rock he's he's one of the highest paid actors. He's one of the hardest working, but he certainly is one of the best and deserves all the accolades he gets, because his movies are just the charisma that The Rock had in wrestling is certainly translated to the movies. Like, he's just fun to, he's an entertaining character to watch, and you want to watch his movies. Like, I mean, it's easy to buy into his movies when you're watching. So I'm looking forward to another one coming from him. This one kind of looks like it's going to be a little Die Hard cliffhanger type of vibe to it. And, both of those movies are two of the best action movies ever. And I think The Rock will be able to pull that off, definitely. It's interesting. He's going to be playing an amputee. That's kind of a different layer to the role for him. I'm sure that he was, it's great to do that. I'm sure he's able to, give some jobs and opportunities to, amputees to work in, working with him and helping him out with stuff like that. So it's just it's a great layer to add to the story, and the return of Neve Campbell, right on. One of my I've always loved watching her act, so it's nice to see her back in there. I'm sure her and The Rock will have great chemistry. Seems like they did from the trailer. So I just think this is going to be a good story, and it's going to be just a good fun action movie. That's what summer blockbuster season's all about. So really looking forward to this. And the shot from the trailer where The Rock's running along the fire ladder and he's jumping to the thing, like, that scene's going to be so intense in 3D and hopefully in D-Box or whatever. So it's I'm thinking that I don't know, it's tough. I mean, Rampage couldn't really have an August release with the Skyscraper coming out, because that'd be probably too close together. But it's I'm just glad that we're getting another Rock movie for the summer, because Rampage is awesome, and I think from everything that I've seen from Skyscraper, it looks like it's going to be awesome as well. So it's one of the things me and my dad love is going out to the movies, grabbing some popcorn, and watching one of the Rock's movies, because it's it makes it easy to go to sit in the theater, enjoy it, and watch popcorn. So it's really looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a great movie for everyone to check out. Next movie we got coming up, another action movie, The Equalizer 2. Denzel Washington, I don't think I need to say anymore, but it's going to be awesome to see him back kicking ass. And like I say, whenever Denzel Washington is in, you can sign me up anytime and every time. So it's it's competition for The Rock, but you can never have too many action movies, and especially when they're done as well as these two are probably going to be. I mean, Skyscraper looks awesome. The first Equalizer was awesome, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel. So and Denzel, one of my boys. So really, I'm glad that Denzel is putting his hat into summer movie season. And next one we got coming up, and it's looking like the last big blockbusters of the summer, Mission Impossible Fallout. And from the trailer, this one looks like it is just going to be pure, unadulterated action. Like all the best crash, boom, bang you could think of packed into one movie. Like, there's so many different action scenes. It's just like, I mean, you can tell they're not from the same scene. So they're like, all of these are different scenes. I mean, it is going to be awesome. It is going to be an awesome summer for action, that's for sure. And I mean, with so much action that it seems like we got coming in it, it's probably going to be hard for it to be a bad movie. I mean, even if the story doesn't hit a home run, all the action should make up for it. But I mean, with these Mission Impossible movies, I don't think anybody's understood the story since the first movie. So really, it's all about enjoying the action. And Tom Cruise, people have their says about him either way as an action star, but in these movies, you can't say anything. He's awesome as Ethan Hunt in these movies, and it's just the action is just so much fun. So much fun to watch, to see these Mission Impossible action sequences. So and one of the best memories from the summer was when, I forget which, I think it was Mission Impossible 2, but they got Limp Bizkit to do a remix of the Mission Impossible theme. I forget what the Limp Bizkit actually called the song, but it's the Mission Impossible theme remix. Man, I still listen to that song this day. Just gets me hyped up, pumped up. But I just remember, I remember that summer. And that was just a great energy to that summer. And part of the reason was Mission Impossible 2. But that movie kicked ass. I remember the trailer was it had such a great trailer. It just got you so pumped coming into the movie. And once you saw the movie, it was just awesome. And that Limp Bizkit song, just I can't say enough great things about that cover. Like I say, still listen to it to this day. So, for me, Mission Impossible movies in the summer blockbuster season always have a special place. So that's why I haven't followed them too close since. I forget the one. One of I think number 4 kind of disappointed me a little bit. And my movie crew, it never worked out to see the 5th one, but I'm pumped for this one, I think. And like I say, ever since the first one, I don't think anyone knows the story, so you don't need to see every single movie to enjoy, to be able to see the the next one. So I'm not too worried about, not being caught up. I just, the action is going to be good enough, and I think they'll be able to present the story in a way. From the trailer, I kind of got a pretty good idea of what's coming. So I'm ready to go for this one. And it's Tom Cruise is one of my favorite actors. Top Gun, one of the best action movies ever, one of the best flying movies. So it's I've always. Tom Cruise is one of my boys, so I always try and give his movies a shot. But especially with Mission Impossible coming into the summer, I'm pretty excited about this one, and then it looks like it could have a pretty good box office run because I think it's coming out July 27th or right at the end of the July for sure. So, and it's not going to have much competition in August. So as long as they're able to string these action sequences together in a way that you can at least enjoy it and follow along with the story, I think they should have a good run, and it should be a pretty enjoyable for audiences, especially with things like D-Box and in 3D and all that fun stuff. Like that type of action is just this type of movie's made for all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to watching this movie and have it kind of bring the summer movie season to a close. And next movie coming up is definitely not an action movie. It will be Disney's Christopher Robin. And I just wanted to mention it because I really love these live action adaptations Disney's doing. I mean, they did the one for Mary Poppins, and they've done other ones. I love seeing the stories behind the Disney characters and the Disney stories. So it's just I'm really fascinated by these movies. So I'll be definitely looking to check this one out. And it's hopefully the people don't just write it off because it's not an action movie or not anything like that. Like Disney does a really good job telling these live action adaptations or telling the story behind the story. So I really hope people give this one a chance, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. And so last but not least, movie we're gonna mention is called The Meg. And intriguing, interesting, but for me, this one falls in the same category as Ocean's 8. It needs a better trailer. Like we saw, I think this trailer was also in Super Troopers, or it might have been in The Avengers. But for me, I didn't get the vibe of this movie at all. It kind of started seeming serious. Halfway through the trailer, you got some like kind of 50s, 60s, old timey type music that are like it's almost like ballroom dancing, or just like it's just fun. It's like a kind of just completely different tone from the first half of the trailer. It's almost like a fun, happy, not just hard for me to explain without actually hearing it. But if you watch the trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it just I don't really know. I don't know if it was a serious movie or if it was kind of more humor in it, or I didn't really get a good vibe from it. And at the spot this movie is being released, and just with it's definitely a higher concept story. Like I think it's about the megalodon, like the dinosaurs still being around, which is it's intriguing. That's interesting. I think it's a story that could be able to hook audiences, but they certainly need a better trailer than the one I saw, because I don't know, the vibe I got from the theater was like not excitement or anything. It was kind of like, what is this? So it's like I think they need to go back in and produce a trailer that really tells what the story is and what the actual vibe of this movie is, and so people understand and get an idea of what they're watching, what they can expect. I think this movie has potential. I'm a big fan of Jason Statham. I really, I think this movie has potential, but I think they need to release a better trailer and just give people an idea of what to expect. I mean, you don't want to leave people guessing too many times in your trailers. You want people to have an idea of the tone and the story that that they can expect. That's just so that they get into the movie. If you don't know what to expect, I mean, movies are definitely more expensive these days. So, if you're investing your time and your money, you want to know that it's going to be, you're going to get, you're going to be paid off for that. It's going to be, you're not going to feel like it's wasted. So, I'm intrigued by it, but I definitely think they need a better trailer to better showcase the movie and what people can expect, because it's. if they don't do that, I think that I think there's a chance that it could still have a really good run, but I think it could get pretty ugly as far as box office go if they do not establish the tone and story and what to expect from this movie. So that's kind of my take on it. But so that kind of brings me to the end of all the movies I was going to talk about. I know I missed some, but there's just some that aren't on my radar really, and it's I just kind of wanted to stick to the bigger blockbuster type because that's what summer movie season is about. It's your big summer blockbusters. But I mean, I know in this day and age, we got to support our smaller studios and our smaller movies. So I mean, it's not totally about summer blockbuster season, but I mean this video would be hours and hours long if I went through every single movie coming out. So I wanted to focus on the bigger blockbusters, but I definitely want to throw out there, don't only support the big studios and the big movies. If you see a movie that interests you, or if it involves people that you are interested in, or that you're connected to, or that you like, or that you want to support, then go out and see the movie. Buy a ticket. Sit in the theater, because it's the best medium to view movies in, and it helps so many people have jobs and create these amazing stories for us, and to have an industry like movies and TV, to where you can just work on bringing stories to people. Like, it's an amazing thing to have in society, and we really need to. It's not a solid thing that's guaranteed to be around forever. I mean, if we don't support it and nurture it in the right ways, it could easily not be around. So, as convenient as it is to watch movies at home and to stream everything and never go to the theater, it's like there's not going to be an industry to give you streaming content if people don't support it in the theaters and stuff like that. So it's like, So it's you gotta support the actors you love and the movies that you're interested in, and the even the studios that you like. I mean, you gotta support them when the chance presents itself. And if we do that, we're gonna have not only have movies for a long time, we're just gonna have better and better stuff. Like right now, trying to deal with Satan and his Illuminati. It's like they don't want all these amazing movies that inspire people to be better and inspire people to create and do good and be the best versions of themselves, and to inspire imagination and thought and wonder. They don't want that. They want specific things to keep people down and keep people brainwashed and keep negative energies and negative emotions around. So that's why it's so hard for some people to get movies made, and so hard for some movies to get traction, and why some movies don't get promoted into the mainstream, and why certain actors and certain studios and certain script writers and certain things only get moved through the process, and why it's so hard for a lot of these original creative movies to get made, because Satan and his Illuminati, they have a lot of control in the movie industry, and they don't want people being inspired. They want dullness. They want the same. Best example in The Simpsons, when they get the new principal and they changes everything. They change the uniforms, and all those kids are walking around. They're all in order. They're doing the same thing. All their clothes are just bland, bleak colors, like just grays and darks. And there's just no brightness, no color, no imagination, no thought, no wonder or anything. But when they change things, they change the uniforms, and they create, and it kind of tie-dyes everything, and all of a sudden there's an explosion of color and everything. It's like, then everybody, all of a sudden the world changes, and everyone starts having fun again. They're smiling, they're happy, and they're playing, and they're creating. And that's the same thing that Satan and his Illuminati are trying to do to our world. They're trying to create things so we're just we're all doing the same thing, and we all have no emotion on us, and we have no imagination, no thought. And so it's like, and that's why they try and craft these movies to where it's like, they don't really bring out any thought, or very little as possible. They create the movies to where it's like there's not as much to think about. It's like, it's just, it's almost like I guess it's kind of the reason why I guess I never really got into comics and reading them, is because you're looking at the idea of somebody else. You're looking at somebody else's imagination, basically. And so you're when you're reading a book, you're using your imagination. But when you're reading a comic, it's like you're seeing somebody else's imagination. So I think that's why I never got into them. But you know, see, that's just goes into why like they just don't want to create content that gets you to think and gets you to create and gets you to try and just, you know, reach deeper into things. It's like they want things that are already thought for you, and they're already, that stuff is already put out there. Like you don't have to think about it; it's already done. And you know, like we have movies like where are our Forrest Gumps? Where are our Shawshank Redemptions? Where are our movies that, you know, just make you think and take you on adventures and make you wonder? And you know, like, I mean, Forrest Gump, like, look at a movie like that. He went on, like, that movie changes so much, but it's one of the greatest movies in the history of the world. Like, I mean, it's just, he does so many different things, and it's just such an amazing adventure. It's just, we need movies like that. But those are the type of movies those are the types of movies that are killed right in the process and are held down because Satan and his Illuminati do not want you experiencing the emotions and energy that you get from those types of movies like that just bring the best out of you. So that's why we just have to support we have to support these smaller movies that are trying to create adventures and are trying to create stories that make you think and to make you use your own imaginations and when you're thinking about the movie and stuff like that. So we have to support everything. It's good to support the big blockbusters and be excited about that, but you can't forget about the smaller stuff and the little studios and the movies that aren't big blockbusters, but the stories are blockbuster stories, you know. So it's like, you know, we have to support big budget, low budget, big story, small story. It doesn't matter. We got to support it all. And if we do that, we're just not only going to have a movie and TV entertainment industry around forever, but it's going to be the best version of it. We're going to have so many great movies. We're not going to know what to do with them all. So it's a very important thing for those of us that appreciate the movie, TV, just the storytelling medium. For those of us that appreciate the storytelling medium, we just have to support it any way we can. And you know, and seeing movies that you're interested in the theater is one of the best ways to do it. And it is the best way to experience the movies. So just wanted to throw that out there. And the last thing I want to talk about before I do is as a disturbing trend that we're starting to see. And we're seeing it a lot in Marvel, and we're starting to see it in other movies too. But that is putting footage in the trailers that's not going to be in the movie. Like, that to me is absolutely complete bullshit, and that's false advertising. Case in point, the big scene that they showed from the Infinity War trailer with all the superheroes charging and the Hulk is in it and everything, like, that is one of the scenes that got me excited to get me into the theater. So I'm just, you know, sitting there waiting for that scene and not getting it. It's like, what the hell? And then you get out and realize that they never intended to put that in the movie. They're just trying to get people they're just putting that into the trailer so people get excited and to come into the movie, and then they already got their money, so who cares about delivering? Like, that is bullshit. And I mean, I don't understand. I don't know what needs to be done or what should be done. But is that not false advertising? Am I wrong about that? Like, that's advertising something you can't deliver. Like, that would be like McDonald's saying, you know, we have all natural beef now. It's flame and char broiled. Like, there's no, it's, you know, it's grown right at a farm here, and you go in and it's just the same processed garbage. That's, you know, it's the same grease sponge that it's always been. It's like, you can't do that. You wouldn't be able to. I mean, so, like, I don't understand why movie studios and movies are now allowed to promote images in the movies that are not going to be in the actual movie. Like, that's false advertising. That is presenting something that's using something to get people to buy your product and they're not going to get what they think that they're paying for. So, I mean, and that is just going to kill movies. Like, I'll tell you what, like, Man of Steel to me, and it's like, Man of Steel was more guilty of, like, setting a tone for a movie they were not going to deliver. Like, one of the trailers that got me the most excited, the movie couldn't have been any more different from what they presented in the trailer. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't ever rewatched the movie. I mean, I kind of liked it, but it was just so different from what I thought it was going to be. And I was so excited based off of that trailer that, you know, it just kind of killed my interest in it. And looking back on it, I can totally see how they crafted the trailer to make people think it was a certain type of movie. And when you get in there, it's actually not. Like, that's just cowardly behavior. I know my movie's not good enough, so I'm going to pretend that it's good to get people in and get your money, and then oh well, if you don't like it, too bad. I already got your money. Like that is what that type of attitude is gonna kill the movie industry. It's gonna kill big blockbuster movies. So I mean, anybody that has a chance to put a stop to that, they absolutely need to. And if you care about your movie, don't allow people to put this false advertising bullshit into the trailers. Like, craft your trailers around your story. Give us the real footage. I mean, yeah, you want to save your surprises. You don't want to give everything away, but at the same time, you can't lie to people about what's going to be in the movie, and you can't hold too much back, or people don't know what the story is, don't know what the tone in the movie is, or don't know what to expect. I mean, crafting a trailer is an art. It's a skill. It's not just something you throw together. Put some scenes together, put some epic music behind it, and we're good. No, you have to think about what's the story. How is this going to present the story? Am I presenting the right tone to this movie? Are we presenting a trailer that we can deliver in the movie? So it's like, I am really pissed off about this trend, and I was pissed off not seeing that footage, that scene in the movie. So I hope that this is something that gets put to a stop immediately. And I just put a plea out there to anybody that's involved in creating a movie. If you care about your movie, don't allow them to do this, because it's going to kill movies, it's going to kill the industry, and it's just not right. So I wanted to talk about that and just establish that as we can allow that to happen moving forward. I mean, I don't want to stop on a negative like that, because something is so exciting and awesome as the summer movie preview. But I just felt it was important enough. I wanted to make that my last point, just to try and make it have as big an impact as possible, because that's just it can't. The movie industry cannot be heading in that direction. We need to stop it now, and just hopefully people that are able to stop it do. Okay, but that brings me to the end of the summer movie preview. Like I said at the start, I think it was, I think it's one of the best summer seasons that we've had. I think most movies look like they're going to deliver. I mean, most movies kind of have a pretty good build-up of excitement coming into them. So, I mean, lots of sequels, though. So, we want to see, definitely want to see more original content. There is lots of room to continue telling these stories in the worlds that we created for sequels and stuff, that's for sure. But you don't want to just rely on that. Like, creating new worlds and new stories is absolutely something that should be focused on. So I'm excited about a few of these movies. I'm really excited about a few of these movies. I'm definitely going to see all of them in theaters, as long as my movie crew is good to go and can match up with it. But now that Avengers has taught me that I can sneak into the theater and see by myself and see a movie if I really have to, just so that I don't miss it in theaters would get spoiled. So looks like it's going to be a great summer movie season. We've already kicked it off. Hopefully you've seen all the movies, the three movies I talked about: Super Troopers, Avengers: Infinity War, and Rampage. If you haven't, go out and see them, track them down, and hopefully everybody's ready for Deadpool and all the movies that'll be coming after that. And like I say, thanks everyone for sticking around and watching this video. It's I love movies, I love TV, I love storytelling, and summer movie season is one of my favorite seasons, and I can't get enough of it. So, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch all these movies, and hopefully everybody has a good, safe summer and gets to see as many of these movies as they want to see. So, as always, thanks everyone for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you soon down the road. Whoa. Before I mention, obviously it is Mother's Day, and I would be remiss if I did not wish my awesome mother, and my sister is a great mother, and all the mothers that are out there in the world. You do so much for us. You do too much for us. We would not be able to be the best versions of ourselves without our mothers. And even if whether you have children or not, all women have the motherly energy, and that motherly energy has been connected with something, someone, something, an animal, a person, every woman has that motherly energy, and somebody has benefited from it and been able to connect to it. So this day is about celebrating all women and the motherly energy they have, and I'd be absolutely nothing without my mom. I love her more than words could possibly say. I could never say or show my appreciation in the right way, and I just have so much honor and it just brings me so much happiness to see not only my sister be a good mother, but like my family, my friends. I have so many female friends that are just amazing mothers, and even the ones that don't have kids, I see them be amazing mothers and extend that motherly energy to other people, and just include. It's just this makes me so happy and so honored to see so many females embrace that motherly energy and to try to just connect it to as many people as possible, not just your own flesh and blood children. So it just makes me so happy. Not only, I mean, there's lots of there's single moms out there that have to do both jobs. There's dads that have to play the role of mom. There's step moms. There's so many people that play the role of mom that have that motherly energy. That's just nothing I say or do could ever show that appreciation. We just we thank you so much, and it's just. We just thank God and Jesus so much that they gave us mothers, and that they blessed us with mothers, and they just put all the good things from life, into the heart and soul of a mother, so that they could help, and they could give that help give that to the rest of us that need it, because our mothers are one of our biggest, strongest connections to God and Jesus. So that's why it's we're just so blessed to have mothers. Can't say enough good things. And I really just want to send a special thoughts, love, prayer, strength, good energy, just healing, perseverance, just all the best, strongest energy to the Humboldt Broncos mamas. They're especially the ones that lost their child, lost children on the awful accident and tragedy. They're definitely going to need everything that they can get to get through this this first Mother's Day. And it just breaks my heart that anybody's going through this, but we're just sending as much energy. We'll give you as many shoulders to lean on as you need, as many hugs, many pats on the back, just everything you need to get through it. We're here, and I just want to send as much good, positive love and energy. And I just want to send the same out to every mother and everybody with the motherly energy dealing with the loss of a child or a loved one. It's the worst thing in the world. And I just anything and everything I can give you to help get through that and to just have peace and healing, please take and send out from me to all. And especially I want to say a special prayer and special energy out to all the females out there that want to be mothers and just haven't been blessed with that miracle yet. I just ask the Lord to please bless as many of those females to be mothers as you possibly can. And it's just, I know it's just, so many of them would be so great, they'd be so great, and they'd be such great mothers. And I know free will is free will, it is what it is, but anything you can do and any energy you can send out to help mothers that desire to have that, to be a mother in the physical sense of it, to have to have a child, please grant as many blessings and miracles as you can for that, because one of the worst things is to to desire a child and not to be able to have one. So also the ones that have had to deal with the absolute awful, horrible thing of not being able to see their child through to birth, for it's the worst thing. And I just want to anything and everything I can send out to help people get through it, please do. And we'd be nothing without our mothers, and I couldn't be the best version of myself without my mom. So I just want to send my strongest love and prayers out to her and to all mothers out there and everybody with the motherly energy. And just ask God and Jesus to give as much strength and power to the Archangel Shamuel, and to the Archangel Raguel, to the Archangel Gabriel, to the Archangel Michael, to the Archangel Jophiel, to the Archangel Uriel, to the Archangel Azrael, and just to all of them, because everything they do is, and the Archangel Azrael, I believe I think I said all of them. I apologize if I missed one. But there are weapons against some of the more awful things that Satan and his demons try to do. So and they're everything, all the tasks that they've been tasked with is is connected to things that mothers help us with, and to mothers that we get from mothers. So just all the weapons that we can use, all the best, strongest energy, please send it out to all the mothers out there and to everybody out there that needs it. So So I just wanted to say that, I would be remiss. I'd be kicking myself if I didn't wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. So I'm glad I remembered right at the nick of time at the last second. So, as always, and for real this time, I thank everyone for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you soon down the road. Much love and God bless. Peace.